It's August 5th, JLD here, and welcome to MSTR today. In this show, we talk about the Bitcoin principles of strategy. We also talk about Plan B's latest video and what that could mean. We talk about the S&P 490. You're about to see what that means, and more. Nothing in this video at all is financial advice. Please do hit that like button to support this channel. It really does mean a lot. I'm going to continue to keep off YouTube ads because I just know it gives a better viewing experience for those that do not have YouTube Premium. So, and thanks for that. If you would, I would love a like to get this video out to more people. And let's dive right in. Okay, so Strategy posted a Bitcoin treasury company needs Bitcoin principles, and yes, they do. And I love Strategy's principles. Whenever Michael Saylor goes through these, whenever Fong Lee goes through these, I get more and more excited that my capital, my dirty fiat, is parked with the right individuals who are turning that into Bitcoin yields, and it's just an amazing feeling. So, what are the Bitcoin principles? One, buy and hold Bitcoin indefinitely, exclusively, and securely. Number two, prioritize MSTR common stock long-term value creation. I love that this is number two. This is the MSTR common stock shareholders. That's you, that's me, that's exciting. Number three, treat all investors with respect, consistency, and transparency. Because guess what? 2 years ago, I didn't understand strategy and I was treated with respect, and I appreciate that. 1 year ago, I understood it, and now I really understand it. And man, it's exciting. But some people take a little longer. Some people take a different journey to get here, and be respectful to those individuals. Number four, structure MSTR to outperform Bitcoin with intelligent leverage. I love the keyword intelligent, and that's what they're going to continue to do. Although that intelligent leverage could start looking like 40% or 50% now that Strategy has figured out the preferred stock game. Number five, acquire Bitcoin continually while achieving positive Bitcoin yield. So they are always going to look to acquire Bitcoin as long as it's achieving positive Bitcoin yield. Number six, grow rapidly and responsibly subject to market dynamics. They've proven that over and over again. Number seven, issue innovative fixed income securities backed by Bitcoin. Wow, did they really knock this one out of the park? Back when they first posted the principles, they had zero preferred stocks. Now they have four. So this is incredibly exciting. Number eight, maintain a healthy, robust, pristine balance sheet. Done. Check. Let's go. Number nine, promote global adoption of Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. What an amazing job Michael Saylor has done. I mean, there were two companies that did this back in 2020. Now there's over 200. So yes, I think Michael Saylor has done a great job. Let's move on over to Chris, who says, from here on, the entire strategy thesis can be distilled down to two factors. One, the success of Bitcoin. Two, the success of Strategy's prefs. It's really that simple. And I can tell you what, if this track record thus far has been any indication, the prefs are going to absolutely crush it. So if you believe in the success of Bitcoin and you are seeing the success of the strategy prefs, you have a very exciting future, my friends. The Bitcoin therapist says strategy doesn't get 630,000 Bitcoin without hitting the ATM mercilessly over the last 8 months. It was necessary collateral damage to monopolize. The MNAV bears are about to get absolutely slaughtered. I feel no remorse for the fool who shorts Michael effing Saylor. R.I.P. And listen, the reality is this. Michael Saylor had opportunity when the volume was high, when people were overly excited about what was happening in certain times of the November election, etc. And he stacked so much Bitcoin as a result from hitting the ATM. Now he's put out clear guidance that ATM will not be touched until 2.5 MNAV, of course, except unless they need to pay dividends, etc., which they will from very rare time to time. And it is looking like the strategy team is very hell-bent on getting MSTR valued to where they believe, which is not higher. It's much higher. Ragnar says the S&P 490 desperately needs to adopt Bitcoin. S&P 10 is fine without Bitcoin for now. ... And so here's the biggest companies that they're pulling away from the rest of the pack. And here you go. And then, of course, the 490, they're just flat lines. So essentially, the 10 biggest companies are just responsible for almost all, if not essentially all, of the growth. And then I actually put here, throw strategy in that red line for fun, and you would see it go something like right at 2020, something like this with the 3,500% return thrown in there from strategy. Bitcoin therapist says bears are short, bulls are long, time to fight. Let's go. Let's go. Ragnar says, summary of the monthly Bitcoin update by Plan B. It's definitely a video I watch every single month. What is the update though? If you didn't want to watch it, here's the update. Solid uptrend, bull market intact. 6-month realized price now at 104,000K, first time above 100K. 2-year realized price at 88K, the short-term floor for big dips. 200-week moving average at 51K, that's the long-term floor. A lot of Bitcoiners are rotating out of cold storage into ETFs and treasuries. Plan B completely rotated himself. Now, see, this is an individual who is unbelievably bullish Bitcoin, but he did not want the human risk of holding his own Bitcoin for different various reasons. So he rotated very publicly into Bitcoin ETFs and into Bitcoin treasury companies. Conclusion. Oh, and I'll back up to that real quick now. So what he was basically saying is, that's obviously some selling pressure on Bitcoin. When you sell Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin treasury companies, that is some selling pressure on Bitcoin. Of course, a lot of those Bitcoin treasury companies are going ahead and buying Bitcoin, of course, but it's not necessarily this one-to-one all the time. So that can be a selling pressure on there. But overall, it's just very bullish for the Bitcoin industry in general. So what's the conclusion? We're very likely going higher. Of course, nothing is guaranteed in life, so make sure you have solid reserves and don't overextend yourselves. And then here's this video. Boom, boom. Let's go. Boom, boom. I just wanted to play this by Chris because I think it's something that we can probably enjoy. Let me kind of zoom out a little bit on this. As MSTR is trying to break 400. It's just kind of poetic. I just thought it was clever. So we'll just see, we're climbing to 400, something happens, knocks us back a step. We're getting closer to 400, something happens, knocks us back another step. Getting right up there, and then something happens, and we get knocked back a step. Okay, we're going to get up there, 410. Oh, now we're back down a step. Oh, but wait, we're going to get there, 450. We were at 450 a couple weeks ago, and boom. And no, and boom. And that to me is just poetic and beautiful. But we all know this is temporary. We all know where this is going. And I have a couple great Michael Saylor video clips you don't want to miss. So tune in, enjoy, and take it away, Michael.
It used to be, if you go back to 2018 in the Bitcoin community, if you said Larry Fink, they would say, oh, Larry Fink doesn't like us. And in the year 2024, Larry Fink goes on television and speaks to leaders in the world and says Bitcoin is a store of value. It protects the sovereignty of the individual. It allows you to achieve your hopes. It is hope. Larry Fink has said Bitcoin is hope. Now, what does that say to me? It says we don't have enemies. What we have are people that need Bitcoin that don't yet know why they should be our friend. When someone goes on television and they're asked, what do you think about Bitcoin? And they get poked and they're a little bit irritated, they got to ask the question. They're not an enemy of Bitcoin. They're just not prepared for the question. And in fact, over time, the journalist will do the poking because they know the most important thing in the world today is Bitcoin. And you're going to have a group of people that understand it, that will say it's the future. And you'll have a group of people that don't understand it and they will not have embraced it. But at the end of the day, with time, with education, we're going to see more and more people join the network and they're going to participate.
When it comes to my assets, diversification is key. I don't want to be over leveraged in any one thing. I mean, yes, I own MSTR and it makes up a large part of my portfolio, but I also own Bitcoin and always will. And now, thanks to my new sponsor, BitIRA, you can own Bitcoin in a tax sheltered retirement account. BitIRA has been around for almost 10 years. As one of the trailblazers in alternative IRAs for crypto, they have built the world's most secure digital IRA. Here's why you'll love them: end to end insurance, highly secure storage, multi encryption, and registered with the US government. And it's fully IRS compliant. If you have a 401k from an old employer or an IRA gathering dust and you'd rather have that retirement account converted to an IRA in Bitcoin, BitIRA will help you convert it free of taxes or penalties. Best of all, you can trade crypto within your retirement account without taxes incurred on any buys or sells. Just go to bitira.com/JLD and request a free info guide. Once you do that and open your IRA, you'll get a free ledger. Again, that's bitira.com/JLD to open a tax sheltered IRA in Bitcoin.
All right, so in a recent X post, Michael Saylor, the executive chairman of Strategy, wrote, "Bitcoin is a swarm of cyber hornets serving the goddess of wisdom, feeding on the fire of truth, exponentially growing ever smarter, faster, and stronger behind a wall of encrypted energy." Joining me now, Strategy Executive Chairman Michael Saylor. So, Michael, I had to go. I went on AI to ask if hornets are indeed good, and the answer was yes. Hornets are beneficial for the ecosystem, so they play a valuable role in controlling pest populations, even contributing to pollination. So I guess it's a good, appropriate metaphor there.
You know, Bitcoin's a virus. It's a freedom virus. It's based on a monetary virus that's in turn based on a truth virus. You know, and we think of it as a swarm creature because everywhere in the world, there's someone that's supporting the Bitcoin ecosystem with their electricity, their computer power, their political power, their economic power. And it's about as unstoppable as a swarm of hornets are unstoppable. You can't shoot a bullet through it. You know, it's spreading all throughout the world, and it just keeps getting stronger day by day, week by week, month by month.
This is something you told us was going to happen for the last few years. Now I gotta ask you though about the Bitcoin yield. I saw on your website 4.4% Bitcoin yield this quarter, 25% year to date. Those sound like very lofty numbers, but what does it even mean to folks out there?
You know, so Bitcoin's a long-term asset. You know, you want to hold it for 21 years. It's been returning about 50% plus a year. It's very volatile. Believe it or not, there are a lot of people that want 2x Bitcoin. They don't want the Bitcoin return. They want 100% return. So MicroStrategy, the equity, or Strategy, the equity, is amplified Bitcoin. We actually aim to generate 2x the Bitcoin return and 2x the volatility. And the way we do it is by issuing credit instruments. So believe it or not, there's someone that would like to get double the money market return or double the yield in their bank account. So if we give them 9%, we've doubled their bank account. We've kind of beat the SOFR rate by 5%. But, you know, Bitcoin's returning 55%. So if I take the 5% boost and I give it in a short duration treasury instrument to credit investors, the other 45% goes to the equity investors. That creates Bitcoin yield.
Wow. Okay. Now that you've explained it, it sounds even more enticing. But you also posted that the Wall Street continues to misunderstand the strategy, continues to undervalue the company. Is there, in your mind right now, at this particular point, a correct valuation?
You know, the accounting only became fair value this year. And so I think Wall Street is undervalued, underestimated, misunderstood what's going on in the entire crypto ecosystem. We're now the ninth most profitable company on an operating basis in the S&P. We're number 96 in market cap. We're like number 495 on a P/E basis. So I don't think Wall Street quite gets it. We're the fourth most profitable finance company in the United States right now, and it's pretty common to dismiss or to disparage something you're afraid of, you don't understand. I think that Wall Street's starting to come to grips with this new thing this year, but it'll probably be a few more years before they really understand the power of digital capital and Bitcoin as an ecosystem.
Well, you just laid out the value proposition, though, for people who want to buy your stock. The Journal is just a recent article talked about this 86 billion, it's probably more now, raised by companies. They want to fund a treasury like with Bitcoin. You must be flattered. Of course, speaking in the financial media, I saw one piece that said it's a fad, another piece that wonders if it's a Ponzi scheme. What do you say? And is it a problem for you that everyone's sort of trying to mimic what you're doing right now with a scarce resource?
100 years ago, people disparaged companies that wanted to use electricity or gasoline in their business. They thought that was faddish. Again, they just don't understand it. This is digital capital. So if you're using traditional treasuries as capital, you're underperforming the S&P by 10% a year, so you're burning money on your treasury. If you're using Bitcoin, you're outperforming the S&P by something like 40% a year. So the more capital you raise, the more capital you hold, the faster you create shareholder value. It's not a problem all those companies are adopting the Bitcoin standard. It's just like companies deciding to put internal combustion engines in their machines or use electricity or the internet or computer semiconductors. It's going to become the rule over time, because why would you want your company to burn 10% of its capital every year when it could double or triple its capital every year?
Today, a company called Verb, which I had never heard of, up almost 100%. They raised close to $600 million for the open network, or TON, for the TON coin to be used on the TON blockchain. We've got stablecoin, we've got Ether. The cyberspace is broadening. Does that change things for you? Does that change the calculus for where your company can go?
There's an explosion of innovation in the crypto economy right now, and I think Telegram is offering a wallet that lets you move Bitcoin and lets you move stable coins at the speed of light over that network. So I think it has to do with the enthusiasm of the technology community and this idea that maybe we could have 1 billion people that have a mobile app that moves money at the speed of light and stores their life savings in an asset that keeps going up in value. I think you'll see more and more of this innovation. Now that we've got a new pro-innovation administration, and there's going to be thousands of very interesting ideas. They all come down to the digital transformation of finance and the digital transformation of capital.
Can I tell you, Michael, we've been talking on and off for years now, and I've always admired your vision and the way you stuck to this, even the times that you were on the mat, and you never cried, you never whined. You said, hey, listen, this is the value proposition, it's going to work, and you're changing the entire world now. Congratulations, Michael.
What's the second best? There is no second best.